All right, I really wanted to talk tonight about your season of appointment. And so it's really just, it started, I was in the shower and I was just praying and thinking about how the Lord has really just taken me and elevated me to levels that I couldn't even imagine. And I mean, even when I think about it, like, it just swells up my heart. Like, it opens up something within me that's just so beautiful, because when I think about just a few years, I was really dealing with a lot of rejection. I was dealing with church hurt, and really, I couldn't even see myself as being used by God. I couldn't see myself as being, a part of the move of God. I really struggled with the spirit of rejection. And what the spirit of rejection does is it pretty much puts like I would say, like a lens on your senses. So you would imagine your vision with goggles, or like your hearing being muffled, where everything you see and everything you hear and everything you feel is distorted by this spirit that's constantly telling you that you're not accepted, that you're not worthy, that you're not wanted. And that's really honestly where I was, like, completely. And so even when I think back on that experience, and I think about, how I was treated, and back then I might have thought that, this was so terrible, and, these people treated me so bad. But now when I really think about it, it's like I don't even know if I have a clear vision of what had actually happened, because I had this spirit of rejection that was just constantly telling me in every situation that I wasn't good enough, that I wasn't worthy. And so anyway, I moved on, life happened. I joined a new church, and I was very content to just be there, honestly. It had been COVID, everything was shut down. I was very lonely. I was very sheltered in my house with my children, and I just really wanted community. So just being at the church, honestly, was like mind-blowing. Like just being around believers, just hearing the word, just worshiping in person, like all of that was enough. Like, it was enough for me. But it was like, when I think about it, like, God he said that this was not enough. Like, that's not what he had for me. It's like he had so many greater plans for me, to prosper me and give me the hope in the future. Like, he had that in mind for me. So anyway, I go and I join this church, and I'm kind of like just hiding in the background with my kids, just really and honestly just excited to be there. And, I saw a need in the children's church. Pretty much, like, it was just like an area, and it was very much in disarray. Like, just a lot of stuff, a lot of dirt. It was bad. I mean, pretty much. It was bad, and it was kind of like not really put together, not really existing. So, I like to create order. I like to fix things. So I said, okay, well, I'll go in, I'll fix the rooms, I'll clean it by myself, I'll make it something beautiful. And that's what I did. And it was very nice. But what I didn't know is that when I finished, my pastor and pastor's wife said, you know what, we want you to take over this ministry. We want you to put it in order. So I started teaching, being obedient. It's not something that I had ever planned. I got my own 4 kids. I hadn't planned to be, watching and dealing with all the other children. But in obedience, I did it. And as I did it, you know what? I began to love it. And it really just made a place for me. It gave me like a purpose. It gave me a work. It gave me a service. And it really strengthened and built me up. And then they said, you know what, we're going to make you children's pastor. One of the children's pastor, along with my husband, 2 other people, children's pastor. And when I look at my life, and when I just look at where I've come from and the level of rejection and not fitting in, I think, Lord, how did you even do this? How is it, God, that you've taken me from not even being wanted, not feeling wanted, Lord? You've delivered me, you've cleaned me, God, and you've elevated me. It's like after all these years, like, the Lord has appointed me, like, in positions I wouldn't have ever saw myself in. I mean, it's just crazy when they said when I look back over my life and I think things over, I can truly say that I've been blessed and I have a testimony. Like, that's how I feel. So now they got me children's pastor. They want me, come up and pray, come up and lead, lead this prayer, lead this prayer night, giving this word. And it's like, blown. People wonder why I'm like so quiet. My mind is blown. Like, how did this even happen? When they have leadership meetings, they want me to come. Like me. Like, why? Why do you want me to come? It's like God has just taken me and just taken so many levels of hurt and so many levels of brokenness and so many levels of emptiness, and just like, first of all, he's torn that off of me and just filled me in so many ways. And not only did he fill me, but he elevated me. He elevated me to places I can't even imagine, and my mind is just even blown. So now here I am, children's pastor 2 years later. I mean, building a ministry. We have about 30 kids. I mean, just excelling in it. And, it's like God was like, you know what? Got even more for you. You know what? You thought this was it. Like, you were surprised by this. You still sitting in shock. I'm going to give you more. So one day, my pastor's wife, my bishop's wife, who is pretty much the most anointed and dynamic woman I've ever met, I've ever known, just full of the glory of God, just full of excellence. Like, the woman is just excellent in just all areas. She called me in and she was like, you know what? I want you to be my sister. And I said, oh, we're already sisters in Christ. So I really didn't even know what she was talking about. And she was like, no, I want you to be my sister. Like, I'm adopting you. You're going to be my sister. So now, Lord, not only have you given me a position in the church, a leadership position, Lord, you've given me a sister. You've made the pastor's wife my sister, Lord. I mean, just listen. Just how God can just take off that rejection and just fill you with acceptance, just in his timing, because I had been waiting so long already. I had been waiting in my brokenness, in my loneliness, in my shatteredness, and I was just there. But it was like God just picked his time and just plucked me out of all of that. He delivered me from it, and not only did he free me from it, but he elevated me and he appointed me and put me in positions and places that I would never have imagined. So all those prayers for community and acceptance, it's like God has just taken those things, those ashes, and turned them into beauty. He's given me beauty for ashes. Honestly and truly, beauty. I mean, because when I look over it, I can't even fathom how I've gotten here. I can't even fathom how I've come from the place that I was to the place that I am, and how he just appointed me and elevated me even when I don't deserve it. Crazy. I don't deserve it. I'm running around here so much. I'm not praying more than all these other women. I'm not fasting more than all these other women. Like, I know this, and God knows this, and yet he has chosen to elevate me in his timing. Like, he's seen it. He saw all of my tears for all of those times, and he held them and he gathered them, and he's turned them into something beautiful. I can't even describe it. So anyway, this is Mom Ministers After Dark. And if you're feeling like you've been rejected and that God is not hearing you, I would just encourage you to wait, because in an appointed season, if you can just hold on, God will take all of that mess and turn it into something beautiful that you could not even imagine. I mean, the way that God can just elevate you in an instant, how he can just pull you out from rags to put you in riches, heavenly riches, spiritual wealth. I mean, the things that he's given me just spiritually, I mean, and as far as community and love, like the things, I mean, I'm so overwhelmed by it. I went from a place of emptiness to a place of being overflowing, and that's how God is. And it's like sometimes we don't want to wait on it, but I'm here to tell you that if you can just get through this season, like, it could be something very beautiful waiting for you on the other side, more than you could even think, imagine, just surpassing everything. So be encouraged, be blessed, keep waiting, keep praying, and know that your time, your appointed time, and your appointed season is coming. I love you. I love you. I know I'm not as fun as my kids, but you know what? I'm here with a message, and I'm blessed to give it. So, see you later.